Now on 4 News Now at 6, a new ordinance to combat the housing crisis in Spokane, how eliminating parking requirements is meant to lower housing costs.
We had a nice break from the heat today, but the 90-degree weather is back in the forecast. I'll let you know how hot it's going to get.
Plus, the plan for a South Hill Chick-fil-A might not be dead yet. Why it might get a second chance at life. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
And we begin with breaking news. AMR and the local paramedics union have reached a tentative deal. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Aaron Luna. The deal avoids a strike that would have drastically reduced emergency services in Spokane. At the center of the negotiations was increased pay for EMTs. Before starting salary was around $17.62 an hour, forcing some to have to work extra jobs to make ends meet.
Well, Spokane is in the midst of a housing crisis, but City Council is trying to change that.
Last night, the City Council passed parking reform that eliminates parking requirements for all housing that is within half a mile of a transit stop. Our Marissa Rio tells us how one apartment complex has already made use of the rule.
Kirsten and Aaron, this is the Warren Apartments complex. They have parking units for about 70% of their units. City Council is hoping there will be more developments like this now that the ordinance has passed. The parking reform was co-sponsored by council members Zach Sapone and John Bingle. The interim ordinance will last 1 year. We spoke with council member John Bingle about how this will help the community.
You have some serious costs that are associated with parking. And so what this will do is if we're able to eliminate that cost from the developer or from affordable housing projects, what it ends up doing is we're hoping that this can lower rents for folks as we're watching rent skyrocket.
Bingle said parking costs for an apartment can be anywhere from $20,000 to $45,000. Now that developers won't have the added cost of off-street parking, he hopes there will be more development.
We're hoping things like this can actually spur development to create more housing units because we're in a housing crisis and it's going to be a huge lift, and so we need every little thing moving forward to help us get out of the crisis.
The city now leads the state in parking reform. One Spokane native said the new ordinance is good for Washington.
So we're kind of showcasing how the state can go about legalizing more housing and making it easier to build new housing in a different way and kind of showcasing a different model for the rest of the state, which I think is very important.
Finding places to park is a concern for some. We spoke to a Warren resident about the importance of residential parking.
We ended up just at least wanting one of our cars to be a little bit safer, but it was not a deal breaker for us. So like if the apartment didn't have it, we probably still would have lived there.
The interim ordinance will be in place for 1 year. City Council will take that time to see if the parking reform works well for the city. Before this ordinance, it was also illegal to lower rent costs for residents who didn't need a parking space. Now renters can lower costs for those who don't own a car. In studio, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Marissa, thank you. And that isn't the only ordinance the Spokane City Council has passed this year that could impact parking. Back in February, they passed an ordinance that could turn areas like parking lots into housing. We're told parking areas account for 30% of land in downtown Spokane. At the busiest times of day, only about 56% of those spots are being used. The ordinance waives the sales and use tax on new construction, half of which would be required to be affordable housing. These are just some examples of how local leaders have been trying to tackle the housing crisis here in the inland Northwest.
While housing costs have risen in both Washington and Idaho, both states have taken very different approaches to solving it. That's why tomorrow we're devoting a whole half hour on how we got here, what's being done to address it, and how some in our community have taken matters into their own hands to address and try to make housing more affordable. You can see it all right here on 4 News Now at 6 o'clock.
We have updates on yesterday's fish trap brush fire now.
It happened in Lincoln County and burned 520 acres before crews were able to put it out. 4 News Now's Allison Martinez is live in Fish Trap with updates on yesterday's fire. Allison.
Yeah, I'm here in Fish Trap where a lot of that smoke and wind that we saw yesterday has subsided. What's left in place is 520 acres of burnt land. You can see all of that behind me. Now, Spokane County District 3 and Lincoln County District 1 have been working late last night into the morning, into currently, and have been making sure that they're mopping up that area. 520 acres were burned by yesterday's fish trap fire. Many people saw the fire from I-90, where smoke and flames were visible on either side. Firefighters stopped the fire progression by 5 p.m., but the smoke was still visible for hours. No structural damage occurred with the exception of one trailer. Evacuation levels dropped completely today at 1 p.m. Spokane Fire District 3 and Lincoln County 1 have been working hard to mop up the perimeter of the fire. The majority of leftover heat has been removed. The fire sparked on a red flag warning day. Several factors can cause a fire in these circumstances.
One could be a dragging chain. So if you're pulling a trailer along the roadway, make sure that everything's buttoned up. Make sure that you don't have any dangling metal.
Another cause is wrongly discarded smoking materials. These are never to be discarded outside during a red flag warning.
Look, if you see smoke, call 911 immediately. That early call will help us respond with initial attack resources and keep the fire small.
The red flag warning has now ended, but fire conditions return later this week with the rise in temperatures and wind.
We're going to get right back into the heat as we go into the rest of the week, but we'll be watching with our partners at the National Weather Service.
We'll continue to bring you updates on this fire and others. Reporting from Fish Trap, Allison Martinez, 4 News Now.
Allison, thank you. And that fire, along with others that we were tracking yesterday, were able to spread quickly because of the dry and windy conditions.
Got a break from the 90-degree weather today. More heat's on the way. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to see just how hot it's going to get. Chris?
Well, we are going to see temperatures jump about 10 degrees or more from today's highs. Now, these readings are actually running just a little below average for the second day in a row. 84 was the high in Spokane, 82 in Coeur d'Alene. There are no 90s on the map today. That is going to be a different story tomorrow. Another big difference between yesterday and today are winds. Here's a look at current winds across the region. Calm in Spokane, generally less than 10 miles per hour over much of the region. So that has been lovely in terms of our fire danger. As you heard from Allison, those winds are expected to pick up this weekend. But this evening, expect light winds, dry conditions, clear skies, and that is going to allow our temperatures to really drop. We'll be in the 70s by 9 o'clock, 60s by 11, bottoming out tonight in the 50s in most locations. I'll be back to let you know how hot it is going to get this week in your 7-day forecast. That's coming up in just a few minutes, Aaron.
Thank you, Chris. The man accused of stabbing 2 homeless people in late May and early June is in the Spokane County Jail. He appeared in court today. Investigators say Charles Nutter stabbed a man on May 26th at a bus shelter in downtown Spokane. Then on June 8th, he's accused of stabbing someone under the Jefferson Street Viaduct. Police say by the time they named Nutter as the prime suspect in the attacks, he'd made his way to California. He was arrested in Fort Bragg, California on June 29th. He's charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and 2 counts of first-degree assault.
A 27-year-old Orofino, Idaho man is facing several charges for allegedly attacking a Clearwater County detention deputy. Investigators say Clayton Farnsworth Sr. was an inmate at the jail when the attack happened last week. The deputy was treated and released from the hospital. Farnsworth was transferred to another jail and is being held on $300,000 bond.
There's still no end in sight for drivers on Freya Street on the South Hill. The city of Spokane is saying work will continue well into this week at 13th and Freya to repair several water main breaks. The drivers have had a detour around that area since last Wednesday. The city had planned to replace those old pipes in the near future, but they've moved it up when the water main break created a sinkhole.
Still ahead, food prices could once again skyrocket. Why Russia's latest decision could be to blame. Coming up.
Plus, plans for a South Hill Chick-fil-A are not dead yet. The company's push for another Spokane location and why some say it will make the area unsafe.
Track live radar on the 4 News Now weather app.
Saving you green.
Kids
Hit the open roads this summer with Click It RV Superstore in Spokane during the Great American Sales Event. The best brands, Riverstone, Venture RV, Winnebago, and more. Over 1,000 RVs. Payments as low as $240 per month. Only $240 down. 0 payments until 2024. Up to $4,000 over JD Power for your trade-in. Plus, get a Traeger grill and Yeti cooler with purchase during the Great American Sales Event. Now at the Click It RV Superstore in Spokane. 1 mile past the Y on North Newport Highway. Hurry in today.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
There's nothing like a fresh coat of paint to transform a home, a room, or a piece of furniture. No matter the project, the folks at your local Ace Hardware store are here to help you with all your paint needs. With our wide selection of premium brand paints and accessories, the experts at Ace will make sure you have everything you need to complete your paint project, no matter how big or small. Come see us today.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team at Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on the next task. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. 4 News Now Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
What's in a name? A question that has never had more relevance. First American Title has been rebranded to Flying S Title and Escrow. Since 1905, we've been helping people protect their property rights. When the time comes to choose a title insurance and escrow company, the choice is clear: Flying S Title and Escrow. Idaho's longest operating, family-owned title and escrow company is now Flying S Title and Escrow. We're not new, but our name is.
I love beef jerky.
Everybody loves beef jerky.
Everybody loves beef jerky.
Anybody who says they don't is lying. I'm a vegetarian and I love beef jerky.
Next live, it's Aches and Pains Week.
Watch live tomorrow at 9, right after GMA.
Been to the Sweet Palace before? Then it's time to come back and look for your favorite. Sweet Palace in Phillipsburg. It's the world's greatest candy store. Come see us.
Denied once already, a Chick-fil-A might still be an option on the South Hill. People in the Lincoln Heights neighborhood say the possible development doesn't fit their plans for the community.
And right now the neighborhood is meeting with the realtor about plans for the development at 29th and Regal on the South Hill. Our Peter Choi explains why some neighbors don't want to see it in that location.
I'm at an empty parking lot on 29th and Regal on South Hill, where many people in this area are venting their concerns about the possible development of a new Chick-fil-A here. And people tell me a large amount of traffic has been a major headache here, and this possible development could put their safety in jeopardy.
We're just very concerned about traffic and pedestrian safety. We have worked.
Concerns that people in the Lincoln Heights neighborhood have been dealing with for years. The chair of the neighborhood council, Kara Tomczyk, says she wants to focus on reducing traffic.
It definitely does not fit our district center plan. It does not fit the center and corridor rules. And we want a pedestrian, bicycle-friendly, walkable neighborhood.
The City of Spokane says its Development Services Center has not received an official application for review. The Spokane Planning Department denied the original request because the city says it didn't fit parking and drive-through requirements in the location. In Spokane, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
Take a look at this. The Clearwater County Sheriff's Office says this is a load of logs that broke loose from a truck yesterday on a road northeast of Orofino. While going around a corner, the truck driver was able to steer the rig into a ditch and avoid a collision with oncoming traffic. It took about 4 hours to clear the roadway.
New at 6 o'clock tonight, a man faces first-degree arson charges for allegedly setting multiple fires in his home. Investigators say he was upset his wife's sister wouldn't move out. And according to court documents, Thomas Brighton sent his wife a text last Friday saying, "I'm giving you an ultimatum. You kick your sister out and she lives. You don't kick her out and she dies." The wife said when she went to talk to Brighton, he was holding a rifle. And later that day, she told investigators Brighton texted her again and said he was going to light the house on fire. To find out what Brighton told investigators once that fire was out, look for this story on KXLY.com.
Temperatures about 6 degrees above average tomorrow, 5 degrees above average. We're topping out at 91. 86 is our average high. Sunshine from start to finish, and it will be a cool start to the day in the 50s. That will not be the case for long. I'll let you know how hot it is going to get as we get closer to the weekend. That's coming up in your 7-day forecast.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
This summer, happiness is a new Chevy. You can go farther, tow more, and bring along everyone you love. Your road to happiness begins in a new Chevy. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT Turbo Max pickups, or get $4,250 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Well, looks like our surgery patient is feeling better today.
Yep, I didn't need any oxy today. I thought I'd do a little surgery on the drain.
Huh. Do you need your pain pills anymore?
No.
Well, we should get them out of the house. There are places to drop them off.
Yeah, okay. Actually, I can do that right now.
And I will look at the drain.
Prevent opioid misuse. Find safe medication return options near you.
It's time to replace your old tub with a new shower. But you don't want the hassle or the worry of getting it finished. You just want to pick a style and relax, knowing that it'll be wonderful when it's done. Is that too much to ask? No, actually it's not. Rebath, from start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $750 off your tub or shower replacement.
Adventure, culture, and fine wine await you in the Lewis Clark Valley, less than 2 hours south of Spokane. Tour some of the world's most spectacular wilderness, beauty, and wildlife in Hell's Canyon. Experience the region's rich and diverse culture and history. Savor award-winning Lewis Clark Valley wines and delicious culinary creations from a variety of local wineries and fine dining establishments. Go to visitlewisclarkvalley.com and plan your destination getaway today.
This would be a good evening to get out there for your nice long jog or perhaps do some yard work because it is going to be quite a bit hotter this time tomorrow. 81 right now in Coeur d'Alene. It's 81 in Spokane. Warm enough, certainly, but we're going to be a lot warmer in the coming days. I have a long stretch of warm and dry weather. I want to show you our relative humidity readings right now across the region, and we are in the teens and 20s. It is very dry. We're going to see these numbers, I'll show you the next couple of days. We'll be in the single digits in some locations and the low teens. It is going to be very dry. One good thing about dry air, light winds, clear skies, this dry air cools down very efficiently. So overnight lows tonight will drop effortlessly into the 40s and 50s. As I mentioned, clear, light winds. That dry air also warms up very efficiently, so we will have no trouble soaring into the 90s tomorrow with sunny skies and northeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. I am watching those winds as we get into the weekend. We may start to see some afternoon gusts developing as we get into Saturday, Sunday, early next week, and that is going to, of course, raise the fire danger flags. Here's a look at our weather pattern. Cold front zipped through yesterday, picking up our winds, giving us a red flag warning. That is now long gone, and we're enjoying that slightly cooler air behind the front, but that is not going to be the case for long. High pressure begins building back in, and we're going to start to tap into at least a little bit of this heat that is baking the desert Southwest. Now, we are on the far northern extreme of that hot weather, so we are not going to break any records. We're not looking at an extreme heat event in the triple digits in the inland Northwest, but we are getting out of the comfort zone, to be sure, into the mid-90s in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, with some triple digits around the region, particularly in Lewiston, Omak, some of the usual suspects. But the heat is going to start settling in tomorrow and sticking around. So enjoy overnight lows tonight down in the 50s, low 50s in Spangle, Cheney, Fairchild Air Force Base, 51 in Meade, 52 in 9 Mile, and 45 degrees in Deer Park. There's some more 40s on the wide map, including in Colville, Moscow, Pullman, 46, 49 in St. Mary's. Then highs tomorrow will be in the 90s, 102 in Lewiston, 88 in Sandpoint. No triple digits in our 7-day forecast, but we are into the mid-90s starting Thursday and continuing all the way through Sunday. Again, bit concerned about the potential for some gusty afternoon winds with such dry conditions around the region, and then possibly, fingers crossed, a cool down as we get into early next week. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. And temperatures may have cooled a little bit for a little bit of time here in the inland Northwest, but millions are still under heat alerts, with some seeing triple-digit heat.
In Phoenix, temperatures reached at least 110 degrees for the 18th. I think it's the 19th consecutive day now. So far this year, the county has recorded 12 confirmed heat-related deaths. The heat is being blamed in the death of a 73-year-old man who just was out for a bike ride.
We are saddened by the loss of a member of our community to this apparent heat-related death.
The heat streak showing no signs of ending soon. The National Weather Service warning the heat is expected to last for the next several days.
New at 6, we're learning more details about the American soldier U.S. officials say willfully crossed in North Korea, where he's now being held.
On the same day, there are reports from Japan that North Korea may have launched 2 suspected short-range interballistic missiles. CNN's Emily Schmidt reports on what we're learning about this area now under sharpened international scrutiny.
The U.S. Army says Private Travis King is the soldier who on Tuesday crossed into North Korea, and by the end of the day was the topic of clearly coordinated Washington media briefings.
I'm a U.S. soldier on a private JSA orientation tour, crossed willfully and without authorization.
Willfully and without authorization crossed into North Korea.
Willfully and without authorization crossed the military demarcation line. We believe that he is in the BRK custody.
An Army official tells CNN King was going to be administratively separated from the Army after facing disciplinary action for assault. He was escorted to a South Korean airport to go back to the U.S., but when the escort could not go through customs with him, King was able to leave the airport. That's according to a U.S. defense official.
In terms of my concerns, I'm absolutely foremost concerned about the welfare of our troops.
In 2016, American student Otto Warmbier, who had traveled to North Korea for a trip, was accused of stealing a political poster, sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. He was released the next year on humanitarian grounds, but died shortly after returning to the U.S. Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley says North Korea's leader cannot be trusted.
What I will say to Biden, if you go talk to him, I can tell you what Kim's going to want. He's going to want sanctions lifted. We cannot do it.
I'm Emily Schmidt reporting.
A pair of Colorado Rockies players will be suiting up for the Spokane Indians this week. Who you can expect at Avista Stadium coming up in sports.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
With prices of natural gas and propane skyrocketing, your heating bill is getting out of control. But before you turn down the heat, give the experts at Bill's Heating and Air a call. They have the latest in dual fuel technology to keep your family comfortable and utility bills low. And there's never been a better time to upgrade, because now every furnace purchase comes with a free heat pump. So call Bill's Heating today to get your free heat pump while supplies last.
Backyard barbecues, family gatherings, now is the best time to visit Jacobs Custom Living. New furniture has arrived and Jacobs really has the largest and most varied inventory ever. Comfortable lounge furniture, elegant outdoor dinner sets, umbrellas, and much more. Hurry in and experience for yourself the high-quality outdoor furniture at Jacobs Custom Living that will make your deck, patio, or cabin a wonderful place for gatherings all summer long. On Sprague, just east of Sullivan.
Wow, what a great vacation.
Yeah, no kidding. The new hotel, the casino, Maslow's Steakhouse.
Don't forget the triple head shower.
Trust me, I haven't. I feel a million miles away.
You're not.
I understand that.
I just ran home and fed the dog.
Don't ruin this for me.
The largest casino resort in the Pacific Northwest is right in your backyard thanks to our brand new River Tower Hotel in Northern Quest.
Shoo-wee, that is fast.
I'm telling you, these guys are pros. They made my glasses the same day.
The same day? Shoo-wee.
Oh, yeah. Other stores make you wait, but Eyeglass World makes their glasses right there in their same-day lab.
I'm at a loss for words.
How about shoo-wee?
Shoo-wee.
Get 2 pairs of glasses for $89 the same day at Eyeglass World, the world's best way to buy glasses.
Appliance Recycling and Wholesale has reliable, attractive, and affordable home appliances. Huge selections of brands and models fully refurbished. If you're on a fixed income, have a student headed to college, manage properties or rentals, then you will want to visit Appliance Recycling and Wholesale. Their reconditioned appliances are not only lower cost, but also environmentally friendly. They constantly strive to incorporate green practices in all their operations. Appliance Recycling and Wholesale, serving Spokane for over 2 decades on Sprague, just west of Freya.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Cal Superstore in Airway Heights.
Well, the Spokane Indians are going to be must-see TV this week. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minenso. Now, typically, the Spokane Indians roster is full of players trying to make it to the big leagues. This week, a few Colorado Rockies players will be coming to Spokane to play with the Indians. Infielder Brendan Rodgers and pitcher Tyler Kinley will be doing their rehab assignments in Spokane while they work back from an injury. Rodgers was the 3rd overall pick in 2015. He's hit 28 home runs and has a Gold Glove with the Rockies for his outstanding defense last year. Here's him taking batting practice earlier today. Now, Rodgers has been out since March with a shoulder injury. As for Kinley, he's been pitching with the Rockies since 2018. He only allowed 2 earned runs in 25 games with the team last season. Kinley has been out this entire year with a torn tendon in his throwing elbow. This is their first trip to Spokane, but both players will be taking a trip down memory lane, returning to the minor leagues this week.
A lot of these kids are about my age, you know, so it's a cool feeling to, you know, get to meet some of these young prospects that, you know, I haven't really got to see much of in spring training or in camp or anything. But, you know, I'm just going to, you know, my way is, you know, try to lead by example.
Played in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I felt like I was the biggest major leaguer in town playing there as a low-A guy at the time because of how much they appreciated the team. So it's definitely cool to come back, and you hope that, you know, the city and the fans here are you know, here for it as well.
Now, Rodgers and Kinley will be with the team for the homestand this entire week against the Vancouver Canadians starting tonight through Sunday. It should be a jam-packed crowd. Game 1 will get underway in about 10 minutes or so from Avista Stadium. The plan is for Rodgers and Kinley to increase playing time by a little each day as they ramp up back from those injuries. We will have highlights of Rodgers and Kinley and how they do tonight on Nightside. Fall camp begins in just 2 weeks for the Washington State football team, and the Cougars are coming off a season in which they made a 7th straight bowl game appearance. The expectations are just as high this year. A number of Cougar players were named to the All-Pac-12 preseason teams. Defensive lineman Brennan Jackson and Ron Stone Jr. and defensive back Shaw Smith-Wade were named to the All-Conference second-team defense. Punter Nick Haberer earned a spot in the group of second-team specialists. Now, none of the Cougars were named to the first team, maybe a little bit of a chip on their shoulder as they head into the season. A handful of the team earned honorable mentions. This includes running back Nakia Watson, defensive back Jaden Hicks, and kicker Dean Janikowski. Washington State opens the 2023 season on September 2nd on the road against Colorado State. And that'll wrap us up for sports.
Thank you. Governor Inslee calls Spokane's new city line the future of transit. Why this is just the beginning for sustainable transit coming up on 4 News Now at 6.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Shop local at the Tin Roof.
When I was told I had a brain tumor, my life disappeared in a moment. I feared for my future, but even more, I feared for the ones I love. How would they move on without me? But when my doctor told me about the Gamma Knife of Spokane, everything changed. I can get my brain tumor treated in just 1 day and continue living the life I love. Because of Gamma Knife, I have hope.
It's a summer roundup. This week at Cal, over 300 rigs have been strategically priced low like a stampede of savings.
We're not horsing around with these special buys.
Trade up to a better set of wheels while you lower your monthly payment. Plus, special financing was brought in so you can get a fun new ride for summer.
And $44 down is all you need.
During the summer roundup this week at Cal.
With more and more people working from home and not being active or moving as much as they used to, it's now more important than ever to break the habit and get back to the gym for a healthier, better you.
Working out should be a daily routine, and Move Fitness wants to help you create new habits by keeping you motivated with our friendly, award-winning staff. And you can get it all for around $1 a day. So what are you waiting for?
Join the movement. Does your current roof have moss growing on it? Is it worn out or tattered? Have you recently seen the heat and electric bills going up? Then it may be time for you to get a new roof from McVeigh Brothers. McVeigh Brothers is the only 5-star certified select shingle master contractor in the Inland Northwest. We also have great financing options to help you out, like no money down and up to 12 years low interest financing. So you can get everything you want now and pay for it later. At McVeigh Brothers, we're always working for you.
Shop local at the Tin Roof.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
3, 2, 1.
Day of celebration for the people who helped make the new City Line a reality. The new rapid bus service that connects Browns Addition to Spokane Community College launched on Saturday, servicing thousands of riders over the weekend.
And today, Washington's governor made a stop in the Lilac City for the celebrations. 4 News Now's Natalie Grant was there and shares why this could be just the start of more sustainable public transit in Spokane.
Today we honor all the work that was planned, the routes, the builds of the stations, and we celebrate the legacy that will benefit the community for generations to come.
After more than 10 years of work, the people who were behind the new City Line bus service gathered to celebrate, including Washington's Governor Jay Inslee, who's been a strong supporter.
This is a community that is leading the world in decarbonizing our transportation sector.
According to project leaders, City Line is first of its kind, designed specifically for the city of Spokane and the people who will be using it.
So there's no rail on the ground and no overhead wires, although we did contemplate that once. It comes at a much lower cost, and it's flexible enough to allow us to detour so that Bloomsday and Hoop Fest can take over the city without us being in the way.
City Line was designed to mimic a rail system that you might find in a much bigger city across the country, with accessibility and availability being a primary focus. Right now, you can expect those buses to arrive at stops like these every 15 minutes, but leaders say soon that number will be getting shorter.
Despite a pandemic, supply chain disruptions, and labor shortages, we delivered the City Line under budget.
The City Line received federal and state funding to make it happen. And with some of that money left over, leaders are hoping to look to the future and expand.
And with that savings, The committee that I chair, Planning and Development Committee, is going to be recommending to the board next week that we commit that savings to the now on the table division BRT system to replicate this to the north of Spokane County.
But for now, you can catch those purple buses around town. They're free to ride until Labor Day. Reporting in Spokane, Natalie Grant, 4 News Now.
What fantastic news. Here's a beautiful view of Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena this evening. Clear skies, temperatures very comfortable. It is going to be a cool night in your forecast. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. A cool Wednesday morning, not quite as crisp as it was this morning. I actually heard complaints about it being too cold. We got down into the 40s and lower 50s. We'll be in the 50s in Spokane. Sunny skies on Wednesday. We do have a warming trend. We'll be back in the 90s tomorrow and stay in the 90s through Sunday. Here's a look at our temperatures currently around the region. 81 in Spokane, 81 in Coeur d'Alene, up through Bonners Ferry and over to Colville. We stayed in the 90s in most locations around the inland northwest today. Overnight lows tonight will be dropping down into the 40s and 50s in most spots, including 46 in Pullman, 49 degrees in St. Mary's, and 48 in Colville. Very nice sleeping weather, and then we warm up quickly into the lower 90s. Blue skies and sunshine, light winds. It gets even hotter in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you all about that. Plus, we're checking in with Phoenix, see how they're doing as the heat records continue to add up. That's coming up in the Forecast Focus. Aaron?
Thank you, Chris. Trials are underway for 5 Patriot Front members arrested near a Pride event in Coeur d'Alene. That happened June of 2022. They're each facing a criminal conspiracy charge. They were among 31 members of a white nationalist group that were found in the back of a U-Haul truck. Court documents indicate that members had riot gear and were planning to confront the people at the event.
A record number of women have returned to the workforce, according to the U.S. Labor Department. That's a rebound after the pandemic forced millions of women to stop working altogether to take care of their families. I spoke with local women to see how they managed to break back into the workforce.
They actually brought up how you use ChatGPT or AI to, plug in your resume, the job description, and kind of get it that way too.
To learn more about what other obstacles these women faced and what surprising opportunities they have managed to find, look for my special report. It's on KXLY.com.
Idaho's warning of a scam trying to get your personal information. The Attorney General says a scammer impersonating an officer of the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force is telling victims they committed crimes of solicitation of a minor and child pornography. The victims are then told to send a picture of their ID and social security card to avoid consequences. The Attorney General's office believes more victims are out there. Anyone who receives an email like this is asked to call the Internet Crimes Against Children unit. The number can be found on this story. It's on our website, KXLY.com. Around the nation, new details on 2 possible serial killers on both sides of the country.
On Long Island, New York, detectives say they found new evidence at the home of the suspect charged in the murders of 3 women. And in Oregon, investigators now saying the mysterious deaths of 4 women this year are all linked. ABC's Tim Pulliam has the latest on both investigations.
In Oregon, a bombshell announcement in the suspicious deaths of at least 4 women. After investigators first said the murders of Kristen Smith, Charity Perry, Bridget Webster, and Ashley Reel were unrelated, now acknowledging they believe the killings are all linked. Their bodies discovered this year in various locations after being reported missing. Authorities say they now have a person of interest in custody. The district attorney's office hasn't elaborated on how he might be connected to the victims who were killed, but said they've conducted several interviews and the investigation is ongoing. The revelation in Oregon comes just as investigators in New York expand their search for evidence in the Gilgo Beach serial killings. Crews in Chester, South Carolina, searching a property owned by Gilgo Beach murder suspect Rex Heuermann. Authorities say this Chevy pickup truck is linked to the investigation. Police in Long Island believe Heuermann is the suspect in the 2010 murders of 3 women who worked as escorts: Melissa Bartholomé, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, and is a prime suspect in the killing of Maureen Brainerd Barnes. Their bodies found wrapped in burlap along Gilgo Beach. Police have been searching for evidence in Heuermann's Long Island home and say they retrieved more than 200 guns.
How concerning is that he had that kind of an arsenal?
Well, I mean, I think it was concerning, and concerning enough where we didn't want to have the arrest at the house.
Prosecutors say the architect and father lived a double life. Investigators are now checking to see if Heuermann could be tied to any other unsolved murders. The search has also expanded to Las Vegas. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Still ahead, Russia and its allies are taking steps to drive up food and gas prices around the world. Find out how coming up.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
Beat the heat. Always water before 10 a.m. or after 6 p.m.
This summer, happiness is a new Chevy. You can go farther, tow more, and of course you can't become, and bring along everyone you love. Your road to happiness begins in a new Chevy. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT Turbo Max pickups, or get $4,250 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
With more and more people working from home and not being active or moving as much as they used to, it's now more important than ever to break the habit and get back to the gym for a healthier, better you.
Working out should be a daily routine, and Move Fitness wants to help you create new habits by keeping you motivated with our friendly, award-winning staff. And you can get it all for around $1 a day. So what are you waiting for? Join the movement.
Things are so awesome since my family got a rewards-earning Kasasa checking account from Canopy Credit Union, earning 4.07% annual percentage yield on up to $25K. Means we get up to $84 deposited right into our account every month. You know what that means? More toys, more playtime, more fun. Woohoo! Canopy is putting treats back in the budget. Learn more at canopycu.com. Limits and conditions apply.
The Inland Northwest is in a housing crisis.
Everything has at least doubled in price.
How did finding an affordable home become so hard?
We're creating a whole new generation of perpetual renters.
Low inventory and higher interest rates are just part of the problem. 4 News Now looks at how the very definition of affordable housing has changed. Will saving the American dream of homeownership mean reimagining it? Watch The Inland Northwest Housing Crisis, a 4 News Now special event, Wednesday at 6:30.
The Gilgo Beach serial killer investigation. Could there be more than one suspect? Next, Inside Edition, the terrifying theory from a victim's lawyer.
I still believe that there's more than one killer.
The 6'4" architect says he's innocent. Cops say they've got their man, but did he act alone? Could he be part of a ring? Then, the underwater search for the lost diamond engagement ring. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
There's a lot of red on this map. We are talking about the heat in Phoenix. It has been making national news for days now. I just wanted to give you an update. I know there are many snowbirds that are enjoying the lower 80s today in the Inland Northwest, thinking about their homes down in the Phoenix area and maybe their friends that stay there for the summer. But it did get 118 degrees today in Phoenix. That was a daily record, breaking the daily record of 115 degrees for today. That was set back in 1989, but much more profoundly, this is the 19th consecutive day of 110 degrees or higher. The previous record, 18 days, set back in 1974. And I was just looking at the forecast for Phoenix for the next 7 days. They're going to be in the 118, 119 degree range for the next several days through the 7-day forecast. No sign of getting down below 110 degrees. And looking even at the 8 to 14-day forecast, there's going to be above average temperatures. Once these heat domes settle in, they are hard to break, and we are going to be right on the edge of some of that heat, just not even really a taste, maybe just some of that heat filtering in as we get into the weekend. I want to show you the heat alerts across the country today because there are many. Now, in the orange, that is a heat advisory. It is the dark pink that is an excessive heat warning, and it is in familiar territory. Places that have really been suffering with the heat all summer really are going to continue to bake tonight. As I mentioned, we're going to get a little bit of a taste of that heat, but not really. Here's our average high. We're getting into the hottest time of the year from a climate standpoint. Our average high right now is at 86. In the next couple of days, it's going to go up to 87. That's where it stays through the end of July into the beginning of August, and then it starts to drop. We are going to be above average by about 10 degrees for Thursday and Friday, in the mid-90s for Saturday and Sunday, and then we start to drop again. We have not had a triple-digit day yet this summer. Our warmest day so far has been 97 degrees, and we did that on a couple of different days. Overnight lows tonight. Enjoy temperatures in the 40s and 50s for lows. That's good. Open up the windows and enjoy the cool air, kind of sleeping weather. Our high temperatures tomorrow will be up in the 90s, even the triple digits down in Lewiston, 99 in the Tri-Cities, in the upper 80s tomorrow in Sandpoint. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Now, if there is a concern of this 7-day forecast, it is this: the potential for some gusty winds coming this weekend. Might even be dealing with the potential of some dry lightning early next week. That is several days away. In the short term, we are looking at sunshine, light winds, and some very warm summer weather. Aaron?
Thank you, Chris. Summer's not even close to over, but it's never too early to start planning some fun fall activities for the family. In October, Disney on Ice is coming to the Spokane Arena. This year's show will feature characters from Frozen and Encanto. It runs from October 20th to the 22nd. Tickets go on sale next Tuesday.
And if you're looking for a new fun way to exercise, a fitness and dance studio is getting ready to open in Deer Park. Soul Studios is both a dance and fitness studio. It will offer all kinds of fitness classes, from cycling to yoga to Zumba and even more. Looks like a disco party in there. Oh, that's cycling. That makes sense. Once it's officially open, you'll have 60 classes to choose from every week. And the owner says its name comes from wanting to have her heart and soul in a fitness experience for people of all ages and levels.
And especially that idea that we can be a place, a safe place for people to come, especially if they've never entered into the fitness world. Like, it can be super intimidating to come into a group fitness class for the first time.
The grand opening will be on August 19th. For more information about the studio, look for this story on KXLY.com.
If you're planning something to do with the family this fall, the Spokane County Interstate Fair is preparing fun activities right now.
Yeah, the organization invited people for blood donations today.
Ooh, fun.
That's fun. For some. My husband loves going to give blood.
It's a good thing to do. It makes you feel good, so
yes.
You consider it fun.
That's right. Giving makes you feel good. Today, they also announced some firsts happening at this year's fair. The goal of the fair is to provide a different experience for everyone in the region. So for anyone 55 and over, you are free to enjoy the fair September 11th. A local shop, JK Boots, is also giving out 4 pairs of custom boots at the event. The fair marketing director says, don't miss the giant pumpkin contest this year.
We're hoping to keep everybody in Spokane. And Jennifer's Auto Sales and Service has stepped up, and they're giving away $1,000 to first prize, $750 to second prize, and $500 to third. That is 10 times higher than it's ever been.
I didn't win last year.
Boo.
I know.
There's
you're
always
shocked.
a chance, 3 chances this year.
And you could potentially make more money. The fair also says the public can play a cornhole tournament. You any good at that?
I'm all right.
I'm not good at that either. But it looks fun.
I said I'm all right.
Yeah, well, you're good. You can be my teammate. You can also make flower crowns. I know how to do that.
Oh, okay, cool.
For more information, visit thespokanefair.com. And here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
This is the Summer of Me. Featuring the summer of bonus episodes of MASH and the summer of all new episodes of Collector's Call.
Watch the Summer of Me over the air on MeTV 4.2.
So we spend a third of our lives sleeping. Shouldn't we try to get the best sleep possible? That's why Denver Mattress is all about that sleep life. And during the Super 7-Day sale, everything is on sale. Like the budget-friendly Summit Queen, easy on the wallet for only $332.49. Get a $300 gift when you purchase any Tempur-Pedic, plus no interest until 2027 and free shipping. Improve your sleep life one night at a time, only at Denver Mattress. The easiest way to get the right mattress.
Friday night, July 21st, KXLY 4 News Now invites you to Star Wars and Fireworks Night at Avista Stadium. Your Spokane Indians will wear Star Wars jerseys as we play the Vancouver Canadians. And after the game, Washington's Lottery presents a fireworks spectacular. For tickets, go to SpokaneIndians.com. Friday, July 21st, Star Wars Night with post-game fireworks presented by Washington's Lottery and KXLY 4 News Now.
Get $200 with a new checking account from Horizon Credit Union. We're here to guide you towards your dreams and put some extra cash in your pocket. Sign up in branch or online with the Get 200 promo code today.
Set summer in motion with the most electrifying Honda vehicles yet. Like the CR-V and the Accord, both with available hybrid powertrains, designed to deliver more thrilling performance and more innovative tech. Make every adventure more electrifying with Honda, the most awarded brand in Car and Driver 10 Best history. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
As state senator, Lisa Brown increased taxes by $2 billion while raising her own pay. Under her watch, homelessness rose by 25,000. Now she's backed by the Defund the Police crowd. Lisa's soft on crime, hard on taxpayers.
I pledge to increase police presence and tackle homelessness, and we have. Our Violent Crimes Task Force has lowered crime rates, and we're compassionately addressing homelessness. We're exceptional, Spokane. I'll keep it that way. I'm Nadine Woodward, and I approve this message.
4 News Now is brought to you by Rebath Spokane.
Around the world tonight, Russia's decision to pull out of a deal allowing for the export of grain from Ukraine shocked global markets this week.
The collapse of the agreement threatens to increase the cost of food, and millions around the world could feel the impact of higher prices. But what does this mean for the average American? Gloria Pazmino is in New York to break it down.
Continues in Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin announcing his decision to withdraw from a deal brokered by the UN and Turkey to allow grain exports from Ukraine through the Black Sea.
What Russia is doing now is striking at the political stability of many countries.
Ukraine is known as Europe's breadbasket, and it accounts for 10% of the world wheat market.
Ukraine is one of the major grain producers in the world, and countries in Africa and the Middle East in particular depend on receiving that grain.
The move sparking outrage.
It's unacceptable to hold hostage the hungriest people in the world because of some power play and aggression carried out by Moscow.
And dire warnings.
Hundreds of millions of people face hunger, and consumers are confronting a global cost of living crisis, and they will pay the price.
Here in the U.S., experts say people are largely shielded from the direct impact of higher grain prices due to strong domestic production. But the economy is not immune.
The U.S. is looking relatively strong on a global basis, but I do think that some of these sort of shocks, the global supply chain shocks, could continue to reverberate and create that uncertainty.
While inflation is cooling overall, energy and food prices still remain stubbornly high, and the U.S. Federal Reserve is poised to hike interest rates yet again. In New York, I'm Gloria Pazmino reporting.
Well, police searched a home in Las Vegas in connection to the murder of legendary rapper Tupac Shakur. The department did not provide further details on their search, citing the open investigation. Tupac was fatally shot in 1996 in a drive-by. He was 25 years old.
New at 6:30, it's probably happened to most of us. You book a hotel room or maybe you buy concert tickets online. Then when you get to the final price, they've added extra fees and surcharges to that cost.
I always think it's about the matter of minutes that it took me to make my decision. Or
only I would have been faster.
The other websites I was searching. But ABC's Melissa Adon reports on why this is happening and what you can do to avoid those fees.
They're called junk fees, those hidden or unexplained charges you pay when making certain types of purchases online. It's a growing concern for consumers.
Generally speaking, customers don't like hidden fees. People would rather just be presented with one price and they can decide whether or not that's fair. They don't like the surprise gotcha at the end of the transaction.
Ted Rossman of Bankrate.com says the government is now working with some major companies to try and lower these fees and give consumers more transparency when they're shopping.
Just recently, the White House held an event with some of the large ticketing agencies, companies like Live Nation, Ticketmaster, SeatGeek. There's been an agreement among those companies to be more transparent in their fee structure.
Rossman says some types of fees like sports tickets and home rentals have become more transparent, but other purchases like airline seats or hotel resort fees have not. But a big question is whether less junk fees will mean more money in consumers' wallets. Rossman says companies may lower junk fees but raise prices in other ways to make up the difference.
I don't think people will really see savings from this. I do think they'll see more transparency. So that is a win for comparison shoppers, that you'll have a better idea of what you're getting into, but I don't think prices will come down.
So what can you do to avoid these junk fees? Experts say to read the fine print for anything you buy online or when you sign up for a new service or financial account. If you don't understand the reason for a fee, ask for an explanation. And if you end up paying an unexpected fee, call the company and see if they will waive the charge. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
E.T. with the all-star cast of Haunted Mansion.
This is a master class.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Tiffany Haddish reveal plans for their next project.
Oh.
Next E.T.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30. The Inland Northwest is in a housing crisis. Will saving the American dream of home ownership mean reimagining it? Watch the Inland Northwest Housing Crisis, a 4 News Now special event, Wednesday at 6:30.
Make your outdoor grilling experience one to remember at your locally owned Ace Hardware, where you'll find top brands like Traeger and Weber. Our friendly neighborhood experts will help you find everything you need, including the right fuel to light your fire. We've got a large selection of accessories like covers and utensils, rubs and sauces, and everything you need to enjoy your outdoor space. So come see us at Ace. With service so good, it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
This summer, happiness is a new Chevy. You can go farther, tow more,
And of course you can't become if you only say what you would have done.
and bring along everyone you love. Your road to happiness begins in a new Chevy. Get 1.9% financing on select popular Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
At P1FCU, we're all about celebrating your wins, like finding a great parking spot,
Yes.
or winning the lottery. Your wins add up, just like earning 3.50% APY in an Ascend checking account. So let's celebrate the wins together. Open your account at p1fcu.org/win. P1FCU, your community, your credit union.
4 News Now is brought to you by Rebath Spokane.
Coming up tonight on Nightside, a major paramedic shortage is forcing the people who save our lives to work overtime, leading to burnout.
The Spokane Fire Department has come to an agreement they hope will help alleviate some of the strain. That's coming up on Nightside.
It is going to be a hot few days. We're in the 90s right on through the weekend with blue skies and sunshine. Breezy afternoons starting on Saturday.
And we look at those numbers and think, oh, it's going to be so hot. But like you said, the snowbirds are loving it.
Oh, absolutely. Can you imagine adding 20 degrees to those temperatures or more? Actually, more than 20 degrees.
It's downright perfect out there then.
Yes.
See you at 11 o'clock.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.